Hi there. Hey there. Oh there. We're as happy as can be. Here another week. 3-ball walk. Bob, Eddie, and I'm Julio. Talk a little baseball. America's pastime.
Yes.
Lots going on. Not today if you're in Gainesville because
raining.
Not any time in the last week or in the week to come.
Not true. We got 3 games in.
Yep.
Over the weekend.
Yep.
Softball.
Actually, we got
3.
six games in.
Game.
I thought we got 6 games in.
No, that was just the Supers. We only played 3.
Oh, you're right.
Thanks. Nah, no. I was there. That's why I can't talk very well.
You can hear him.
I still cannot talk very well.
If you saw that game, you could hear him.
It was a crazy game.
It was.
Roller coaster. Florida's headed to the Women's College World Series. That begins tomorrow.
That is. They're already there. Probably be today when this airs. Because it won't air today.
They're already there. So right now, if you're watching this in the afternoon, you're watching Oklahoma.
It could be, yeah. It's unusual that Oklahoma's having to play in the afternoon session.
It's unusual. It's unusual that Oklahoma, the defending national champs, who only lost about 3 or 4 games this year, are the number 4 seed. It's just mind blowing to me.
Yeah, we could talk.
The Big 12 is down. I mean, they're the 4th highest RPI conference. Behind the SEC, obviously number 1. The Pac-12 is number 2, and the American Conference is number 3.
Really? Not the ACC?
Not the ACC is number 6.
Wow.
And
wow.
The Big Ten
AAC?
The AAC. That was USF and Wichita State. And they sent 4 teams. The ACC only sent 3.
Yeah, and how many of them made it through?
1.
Yeah, exactly. Only
they got
one.
to host.
Right, that's kind of
the advantage of hosting.
The last time I did it was a few years ago. I actually ran the numbers on it, and it was like 73% since the beginning when they went to the super regional format. If you hosted a super regional, just almost 7.5 out of 10 times you were going to make it through.
Well, this year, I want to say 8 out of 8.
Chalk.
16 out of 16.
It went chalk.
Easy to fill out brackets.
If you'd picked chalk this time, you'd have been good.
Yeah, and Tulsa, who I want to say won, they were the number 2 seed in the Oklahoma. Thank you very much for honoring my season. So it's kind of interesting. Only 2 SEC teams in the College World Series, and
they play each other.
And they play each other, but. Oh, the Pac-12 was much better. Look how many teams they got, but they got the host.
They coasted them all. Yeah,
they hosted, and
they didn't have to travel very far.
Yeah, but none of them did, and I think that's what happened to the American.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when you have to play on the road at somebody else's park, I don't care if they try to make it as neutral as the NCAA can, which by the way is the dumbest thing in the world. To try to make it a neutral site. It's not a neutral site.
They don't let you hang up your Ks.
They don't let you hang up your Ks. They don't let your mascot interact with the fans in the stands. You can't play your music that you normally play. You can't. Everything has to be different. You can't even use, in our place, we can't even use Gatorade because, heaven forbid, because Powerade is the official sponsor of NCAA tournament.
Well, Coca-Cola is.
Right, but Powerade
and you should be in the press box. They've got the Pepsi because University of Florida's Pepsi, and they had to take the labels off all the little plastic bottles in the refrigerator. So the only way you know the difference between the Diet Pepsi and the Pepsi is one's got a blue cap and one's got a white cap.
The color of the cap.
The cap, because they're not allowed to have the.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy, but and it's not a neutral site. Just like if Oklahoma makes it to the finals, it's not going to be a neutral site.
Even if they don't, if they play tomorrow, it won't be a neutral site.
Well, no, but if they make it to the finals, it won't be a neutral site. There's no way because they're 35 miles from their campus.
Yeah.
Everybody buys the tickets out there, and they sell them to everybody if Oklahoma doesn't make it, which for the last 5 years I think Oklahoma's made it. So they haven't had to sell a ticket in a while. I guess it's good for the sport. But it makes it hard. I mean, you got to be better than them when you go in there, and it has been done. Alabama did it, so it can be done. We didn't get it done last year. I think that 17-inning game, whoever won that game was going to win that series. So I didn't think anybody was coming back after that emotionally draining night. So we'll see what happens. I I think it's going to be hard to knock off Oregon. I really do. But it can be done. I mean, any of those 8 teams that
Kentucky
get on
blew them out in game 1.
Yeah, but then what happened in game 2 and game 3? Yeah, they got beat soundly.
Oregon was at home.
Oregon was at home, and Oregon, I'm sure, didn't take Kentucky seriously as the 16 seed. And Kentucky had been through it, and they weren't intimidated. They were out there last year, and they won a game last year.
You guys have seen much more women's softball than I have. When it gets to this point, I mean, is it just who gets the breaks, or does the cream rise in a term like this?
Well, they're all good.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. They're all good.
Number one, everybody's going to have really 1 to 2 good pitchers. Most teams have 2 really good pitchers. Mm-hmm. So the scoring is going to be lower than normal, and it depends on when you get a timely hit. Can you get a timely hit? Who makes an error? Who makes a wrong play? I mean, that's what happened to Texas A&M. It's what happened to us. The reason why we won.
Hitting and runners in scoring position.
Yep, you got to get the timely hit and knock them in.
And not walk anybody.
Well, yeah, you're going to walk. You're going to walk some because the umpires are just going to. Depends on who's behind the plate for that, but it'll be a fun time if you're near Oklahoma City and you get a ticket. Go out there. If you're not, hey, you get to watch it all on ESPN because you can't find any of the baseball games on the weekend, or not many of them.
And then baseball. Baseball starts tomorrow. Also.
Tomorrow, absolutely.
One of the regionals starts tomorrow. The one here starts Friday at noon. That'll be when the run delays begin.
Friday at 1.
Noon. They moved it to noon.
It's listed at 1, so.
They moved it to noon.
Wow. Okay, that makes even better sense. The number 1 overall seed
Check your local
plays at noon local time on Watch ESPN, by the way, if you don't have a computer in that app.
Well, it's against Columbia. It's against the Ivy League champion who's 24 and 28.
Everybody else that's playing, their games are not any better, 1 versus 4 in the regions. So you can't tell me that. But the number 1 overall seed doesn't get highlighted on the first day.
At their request.
Maybe.
No, it is at their request.
So
because
rain delays?
That is correct. Because always 2 and 3 are in their beds by 7 or 8 at night, while the 1 seed is watching it rain at 1 and either coming back and having to play early on the second day and then play later again that day, or they get done at 1 o'clock in the morning and get in bed at 3 and then have to come back the next day for the winner's bracket game. And Florida, I believe, said, why don't we get the first game and get the advantage and already have our game under,
right?
And the others have to wait for us.
Oh, even so why is that game not on a network? Why is that game not on SEC Network? Why is it not on ESPN or ESPN?
Because ESPN do their mock draft for 2019.
I honestly believe it's because it's the worst team. It's the number 64 team in the whole tournament.
But it's the number 1 team in the tournament.
Right. Against 64.
It's they won. Still the 1 team.
Okay, I'm just saying.
And I'm just saying, I understand that, but you're the number 1 team in the country for a reason. I don't think they deserve to be number 1.
If it was a brain brawl or something like that, Columbia or Harvard, my money's on.
Would be on that.
I don't believe that they deserve to be number 1 seed. By the way, just so you know.
The SEC, I'll tell you what, it was very inconsistent. Florida getting the number 1 seed because of the strength of schedule, the strength of conference, and Kentucky not getting in. And I was actually looking at some stuff on Kentucky. Do you realize that of the 16 seeds, okay?
16 national seeds.
16 national seeds, the non-SEC teams, okay, against SEC competition. You know what their record is?
I would say not good.
Well, FSU?
0-3.
I want to say they're 0-4 because I think they lost the game to Auburn also. Texas Tech got swept by Kentucky at Kentucky, and that's one of your national seeds against a team that didn't. But they are 7-13. So if they were a team, they wouldn't be in the tournament. Not only would they not be, because basically that's what they held against Kentucky. Kentucky had the toughest schedule in the country, had a 20 RPI, top 20 RPI. They were number 20 RPI, and they didn't get in.
What was their record?
What?
What was their record overall?
They were 28-20. I want to say they were 28-20, but they were 13-17 in the SEC. And that's what they had. 13-17.
Right.
In the SEC, though.
Right.
And
there are 10 teams in the SEC that are in the tournament.
Right.
Do you think Florida getting knocked out in the fog game, I mean, early in the SEC tournament helps them as they go into the College World Series?
I think the entire SEC tournament did not help them.
I don't think it helps at all.
Except for it resting. And
and
they got to see the two freshmen start because they're probably going to need them. And the biggest thing is, and you know that J.J. Schwartz is not going to be there at least until the beginning of the College World Series if they make it there.
If they make it there, right.
He's out for 3 weeks, which is the SEC tournament, the regionals, and the super regionals.
And then he's going to come back having not hit.
Not hit. And then Brady Singer hasn't played in 2 weeks. He's missed 2 straight weekend starts. So
yeah, how good is he? I mean, how healthy
effective is he going to be?
How healthy is he? He'll certainly be amped up because he'll be, if he can go, he'll be rested. His arm should be in good shape.
I think the advantage Florida has is they drew the worst team in the entire tournament, and it doesn't matter.
But it's not the worst. It's not the worst regional.
No, I mean
no.
Did you see Stetson?
Stetson's regional. Can you, if you can explain to me how Stetson is? What number? Let's see what national seed Stetson
11,
is.
13.
Oh, let's see. Stetson is the 11th seed.
11, yeah.
Stetson's the 11th seed.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you they haven't played half of the teams that the rest of the teams have played. Certainly not the SEC schedule. They draw USF as the number 2 team, which USF's not a bad team.
USF was right up there. USF was top 20. And was bad if they'd have been a national seed had they done well in their conference.
And they're my pick to come out of that, by the way, to beat Stetson.
They're a lot tougher number 2 than anybody we have.
And then Oklahoma State is the number 3 seed,
which is a national team,
right? But hasn't had a good year at all.
No.
And then you got Hartford. Hartford won the American East.
Florida Atlantic is okay. Jacksonville is someone that should get beat.
Jacksonville split with us during midweek.
They did.
So
they did. But if that's what. But look at their record. Look at who they did against everyone else.
I'm just saying that
they're not a very good. I mean, they're a decent team, but they're not.
Why do you?
I'd rather have Jackson. Well, let me rephrase.
Why do you send LSU all the way to Corvallis, Oregon, to Oregon State to be a number 2 seed when? That just doesn't make sense to me. Why they don't end up going to LSU? I mean, to FSU as a number 2 seed.
Because they finished about number 30. They were going into the last weekend. They were on the verge of not making the tournament. You can't sit there.
Send them as a 3 seed to Stetson, or send them.
That would be
as a 3 seed.
If you make them a 3
FSU.
seed, but they did. They went to the SEC championship game and beat the number 1 seed. So all of a sudden, they went from being exactly what you expected, a highly ranked 3rd seed to a very lowly ranked
Oxford,
2
Mississippi,
seed.
even to be the number 3 seed where Missouri State is, and Tennessee State, and St. Louis. Are you telling me that
the Cardinals? Look, they're on TV right now. They're tied with Milwaukee, but St. Louis is a good team.
Not the Cardinals.
Not the Cardinals.
Oh,
no,
I thought you said
no.
St. Louis University.
Yeah, it's different.
The
Billikens.
The Billikens,
right?
The
whatever
Billikens.
a Billiken is.
I'm thinking
what is a Billiken?
It's some kind of mythical creature.
Oh, I thought somebody came to your house and they appeared for a biblical activity.
All right, now, so I have, by the way, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Where's the bill? You know, you get in the mail.
6.
Oh my gosh.
7 SEC teams coming out of the regionals.
Wow. What was that?
That was a misplay.
Yep.
The shortstop didn't know there was a 4-out.
I guess not.
Did you see that?
Didn't get him.
No way they got him. He was still standing at short.
Right.
Yeah, we're watching the game here. It's just, the St. Louis, by the way, the St. Louis Cardinals, a great team that just screwed it up right there. Anyway,
The Billikens probably could have made that play.
Real quick, this Saturday, Jacksonville, Mandarin Ramada Inn Card Show. Come to the show. It's a great time. Jacksonville Sports Cards hosted. You might even see a celebrity. Not me, but somebody might be there. I don't know.
Eddie.
I'm not going to be there. I'm sorry.
Hey,
but it's a great show.
It's been great. We were talking college softball, college baseball. Yep. We'll be back to talk Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball.
After the break.
Right after. Play ball.